Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. It's time for another indie author showcase, and with Christmas just about upon us, if you're looking for a last minute gift for a lover of fantasy, these authors might have something for you.
Hi, my name is H.C. Newell, and I am the author of the dark fantasy series, Fallen Light. It is a 9-book series that follows a sorceress named Urana who lives in a world where magic is completely forbidden. And the story follows her as she tries to navigate curing a curse that ties her to her leaders, the Order of Sorrow. They are a religious faction that oversees the human-led country of Laeroth. Anyone born of magic or anyone holding magic, any other race that is not considered pure human, is considered a demon to them, and they are not welcome in their country. And during this journey, she finds that the cure to her curse is actually within a forbidden and really mysterious ancient cave system left behind by the Enclave. And the Enclave were a race of elves who vanished mysteriously hundreds of years ago, leaving behind these really, really magically powerful cave systems. So she finds that she needs to get to these cave systems and get to what is called the Trials of Blood. And the Trials of Blood will have the magic needed to be able to take away her curse so that she is able to use her magic to fight against the Order of Sorrow. Along the way, she does find companionship in another who is also looking for the Trials of Blood. So they decide to join together to survive this journey and survive the Trials of Blood, which are said to be extremely dangerous and extremely powerful and also extremely forbidden. And that is the introduction basically into this series. There are 3 books available right now: Curse of the Fallen, The Forbidden Realms, and then the side story novella, The Banished. My books have been compared by readers to George R.R. Martin, The Game of Thrones, Andrzej Sapkowski, I know I'm pronouncing that name wrong, with The Witcher. They have said that it gives them Skyrim vibes too, which is pretty cool. If you want to learn more, you can definitely find me on all of the social media channels. I am HC Newell on Facebook, HC Newell Author on Instagram, HC Newell1 on Twitter, and HC Newell on TikTok as well. Thank you so much to Dom for inviting me onto this channel and allowing me the opportunity to talk about my book. I hope I didn't screw it up, and you guys should definitely check it out.
Hi, my name is Cameron Michaels, and I am the author of The Fated Dragon, which is book 1 of the Twin Worlds saga. The best way I could describe this book is as epic fantasy with a twist of mystery, where it has a lot of tropes that you are familiar with, while also having this undertone of who is doing all of the puppetry behind the scenes. It also discusses themes of truth. Is truth and right and wrong something that exists? And if it does, is it worth fighting for? This book also takes place in the world of Dirium, where the dragons from another world have vanished, elves are nearly extinct, and what is left over is humans, who are just de-evolved versions of elves, and the Karn, which are these half-elf, half-dragon species that have been enslaved by mankind. Tensions are rising and wars inevitable, and it can honestly go in any different direction. The Fated Dragon is multiple POV, taking place from people and Takarn alike, and the conflict between those two peoples. This book is currently up for pre-order on Kindle, with the pre-order for paperback coming pretty soon, and the audiobook coming a few months after the release. Also, a huge thank you to Felix Ortiz, who did the cover work for this book. It turned out incredible, and I could not be happier with it. The Fated Dragon releases on February 4th, so be looking forward to that, and thank you so much, Dom, for having me on.
Hi everyone, I'm Alex Sarch. I'm sorry if I have a big... Hi everyone, I'm Alex Sarch, the author of The Stars Within. I'm sorry about my accent. It's not a clever ploy to make myself look distinguished. I'm actually French-Canadian, but I promise you that I write much better than I speak. My stories are usually set in science fiction or fantasy, and they're fast-paced and character-driven. Since I like to surprise my readers, you can expect a few twists and worlds and events that are never quite what they seem. I'm especially fond of The Stars Within because I could dedicate it to my late mother who died of cancer. Now, obviously, the story is completely fictional. First, it's set in space, but what I mean is that the emotions are real and the characters are grounded in reality. It was just important it be set in space because it just had to be set in space for the plot and for the twist I wanted to create to work. And there's a lot in there. There are ruthless aliens bent on destroying the human race. There's a man fighting for his life against cancer. There's a heartless corporation who thinks of nothing more than profit, and a commander torn between her feelings for an old flame and her mission to save the human race. All of this in a concise novel that packs a serious punch. And that's a line from reviewers, not me, although I do endorse their message. So if you want a book that will keep you on the edge of your seat, that will respect your busy... So if you want a book that will keep you on the edge of your seat and that fits in your busy schedule and make you think, look no further. The Stars Within is short, with chapters that ramp up alongside the action to a reveal that will hopefully blow your mind. Alright, so that's enough of me raving about my book. I want to thank everyone for listening. I want to thank Dominic for lending me his platform. And everyone who reads The Stars Within, just know that I thank you from the bottom of my heart. It means the world to me, really. And if you want to chat, don't hesitate to contact me. I will gladly talk your ear off about my books. Thanks. Bye.
Hello friends, my name is Michelle Franklin. I'm an author, I'm a linguist, among other things, and I have just finished writing a book called Misadventures of Mindel Plottesteer. The full title being The Misadventures of Mindel Plottesteer, in which the beloved missionary encounters heathens, werewolves, murderous fairies. This is a comical historical fantasy that's written in the year 937 around the Great War. So if you like historical fantasy, if you like comical fantasy like Terry Pratchett, I think you'll enjoy this book. I've also written this book, Creatures from Fairy Tale and Myth, together with Ed Greenwood, and you can find all of my other fantasy books at any online retailer. You can also find me on Twitter and Mastodon for daily updates and more language things, or you can join me on TikTok where I talk about books, language, and my love of video games. Read them, Mindel, you gotta read them the book! Life happened to most people, but Mindel Plottesteer happened to everybody else.
Vinalia is going to die. That's the premise of my new fantasy novel, The First Rule. I'm Stephen William Hanna, and that's Vinalia. She's a newly ordained priestess of the Mind's Eye. That's the god of secrets. And he chose her specifically because she's been keeping a really dangerous secret since she was a child. Now, Vinalia, she really goes through it in this story. She has to return home to bury her mentor, and then while she's there, a man who has dreams of the future, of things yet to come, he tells her that in just a couple of days, she's going to walk into the woods on her own to certain death, and she's not coming back. That's because this man has been followed by something from the world below. It's a choir of the undead. Its song enraptures people, so if you hear its song, you become part of the choir, and this thing is coming for the village. Now, Vinalia could just run, but she took an oath as a priestess, and the first rule is that you cannot just leave people to a fate like this. She has to stand, even if it means her death. But this is a village that always shunned her, that never really took her in and appreciated her, or were kind to her at all. She doesn't really want to die for them, not in her first job, not for such an ungrateful flock at least. And so Vinalia has to decide what her life means to her. She has to decide what the oath that she took means to her. And she has to decide what she's going to do, even though she knows that she's destined to fail. The first rule is a fast-paced, dark fantasy mystery. It's got a lot of investigatory things in it. It's got a lot of detective work going on, but it's also a kind of classic fantasy. It's inspired a lot by tabletop stuff, Dungeons and Dragons. There's a little bit of progression fantasy in there for those who are interested in it. But mostly it's a story about duty and guilt and redemption. It's just been released as well, so you can be amongst the first of the people who get to read it. I'm really quite proud of it, and I hope that you guys enjoy it. And thank you very much.
Hi everyone, My name is Joseph John Lee, and I am the author of The Bleeding Stone, which is the first in the Spellbinders and the Gunslingers trilogy, and at the time of recording, it actually comes out today, December 13th, in paperback and ebook. And thank you to Dom for allowing me on the channel to briefly speak about it. It's an epic historical fantasy with some grimdark and western thrown in, set against the backdrop of a war of conquest on the part of foreign invaders from across the ocean from the perspective of the indigenous tribes who live there. It's a tale of intrigue, of war and conquest, of a deconstruction of the concept of history always being written by the victors, deconstruction of nationalism, imperialism, colonialism, national exceptionalism, and all those fun topics. And if you're a fan of the writings of R.F. Kuang, John Gwynne, Joe Abercrombie, if you've ever wondered what if The Last of the Mohicans but fantasy, then this might be the book for you. The second book in the trilogy is tentatively planned for the first half of 2023, but until then, if you would like to give The Bleeding Stone a chance, I would be very much appreciative of it. Thank you again to Dom for allowing me on the channel, and thank you, Dom, for always giving indie authors a spotlight like this.
Hiya, I'm Jane. I write under the name J.E. Clarkson. I write sci-fi and a bit of horror and detective fiction. But I guess you want to hear about the sci-fi. So, I've written a sci-fi series called the Nemo & Co. series that is currently standing at 5 books. It's all concerned with a woman, very ordinary woman, who goes to work for a data storage company as a cleaner. And everything seems just too good to be true. And as the series goes along, she finds herself in more and more dangerous situations. So if you enjoy stories about mystery, about conspiracies, about who is actually lying, who's telling the truth, and murderous androids, maybe my series will be for you. She never really knows what's going to happen, and neither will you. If you like stories that take you and grab you by the scruff of the neck, then maybe my series will be for you. Anyway, just remember one thing: lies are everywhere.
Hello, I am E.M. Allen, writer, YouTuber, media commentator, and author of The Hellfire Brats, book 1 of the Agents of Night Watch, and also my debut book. This is a pulp-inspired, action-packed urban fantasy set in St. Louis, Missouri, which is a city that doesn't get a whole lot of traction in fiction anymore. It's about a group of mages in St. Louis who uncover a plot involving the mob, monsters, arsonists, and an assassin. The main character, as it is Oliver Turner, who is a 15-year-old new recruit to a group called Night Watch, hence the series name, Agents of Night Watch. But as that title also implies, it is an ensemble cast. You also have a more seasoned member of Night Watch. You have the leader of Night Watch himself. You have potential allies with a group called the Celestial Order, who are represented by a 17-year-old girl named Eliza Alcius. And together they kind of go through this plot and uncover the mystery involving the titular Hellfire Brats, who may be behind these arsons. And there's a lot of action, a lot of drama, a lot of world building in this particular book, as Oliver is introduced to a lot of these concepts alongside the readers. It is available now. Book 2 is coming out next year. Book 3 might be coming out next year as well, depending on how fast I am able to put all that together. And I am looking forward to sharing the rest of the series with everyone else as it continues. And thank you for watching.
So that's the last indie author showcase of 2022. I have been absolutely blessed with all of the wonderful authors who sent me clips for inclusion in this video series over the course of a year, and I'm happy to say that I'm going to keep doing this throughout 2023 for as long as there are still authors out there who want to be involved and showcase their books. So if you are an indie or self-published author of fantasy or maybe science fiction works, do get in touch if you want to send in a video talking about your books. You can message me on Discord, Instagram, Twitter, or you can email me, and my email address to use is in the About section of my YouTube channel. Give me some details of your books, and if it seems like it'll be a fit for the channel, I'll get back in touch with you and give you the information on what you need to do to send me a video. As usual, don't forget to check in the box below this video for links to all of the authors and the Goodreads links to the books that have been featured today. With each of those, once you view the book on Goodreads, there should be a purchase link where you can be directed to a number of online stores to pick up these titles. That's everything from me today though. Thank you very much for taking the time to check out these authors. Have yourselves a good Christmas. I'll see you in the next video, hopefully sometime soon. Until then, as always, take care of yourselves, read some good books. Bye for now.